And we're back for episode 3 of Planet Raygun's campaign playtest, now called Shadow of a Ghost. Ooh, spooky. Speaking of shadows of ghosts, we have a guest star for this episode and a few stars who we were not able to settle our contract negotiations with in time for the recording of this episode, but who will be back in the future. So, yes, Ben and Jack are off this week, but we do have Michael Van Vliet, your friend and mine. Hello, Michael.
Thanks for having me,
Um,
everybody.
Thank you. Let's. You will not be playing Michael Van Vliet in this heist, presumably by your little name badge there. Let's hear about the character that you will be playing. Another curator joining the crew for this particular incursion.
Yeah, so we have the appropriately sci-fi name Led Fixstar, which I think
Nice.
shortens to Fix. What do we know about them? They are making up for a lack that the rest of the crew has, apparently, by filling in the composure and reason part of the crew. As a
Nice.
curator, they got to be calm-headed and be a bit of a thinker and a planner. About the only physical thing I know about them, they dress pretty nice. They dress pretty nice, but they do have off-putting alien eyes that were swapped out at some point in the past. They don't like
Mm.
to talk about it, but they look weird as heck. It looks like if you could imagine a lily pond with different sized lilies, except each of the lilies is kind of made of a reflective diamond type pattern. Who knows what the world
Oh.
actually looks like to them? Uh, Editor, if you could just throw up on the screen the little screenshot that I found, we'll give them a couple seconds to cut that in. All right, welcome back, everybody. Those were the eyes. I'm assuming we're doing fancy video editing for each and every one
Oh
of these,
yeah,
right?
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, soundtrack swells up. Um, they got an archive and some tastes, but I haven't figured those out yet. As
All
far
right.
as what they collect, I've decided they're some kind of DNA pervert. I think they are trying to make a seed bank of the various creatures in the universe to make sure that life will survive the death of this one.
Well, it makes a lot of sense on why you have joined the crew for this particular heist. It is a very special Valentine's Day episode of Planet Raygun. Although not that special, I realized Amanda has a lovely, like, romantic heist that we will have to run at whatever is like the next Valentine's Day that's not Valentine's Day. But for this one, we are going straight to the heart of a problem in this galaxy, the Blood Banks of Terranor. They may wear the mask of civilization, but the parasitic peerage of Terranor burn with the sadistic thirst of animals. Cover your necks, or your most precious essence may be deposited in the blood banks of Terranor. At the dim edge of the Canta 12 system drifts Terranor, a pebble of a planet with its back perpetually turned to its sun. Despite living on the dark side of a derelict rock, Terranor's inhabitants gush charisma, attracting souls from across the galaxy to donate to their seemingly selfless service. You see, the Terranors maintain an underground archive of blood samples, trumpeted around the galaxy as a way to restart the spectrum of life in case of apocalypse. Anyone can serve the future by making a deposit, a process the Terranors have made easy and inviting outside their planet's sheltered city. Apocalypse aside, such a deep and diverse collection of blood could benefit the galaxy now. Perhaps raising suspicion of their altruistic motives, however, the Terranors refuse to loan any of their reservoir for any reason. One of those refusals was to Professor Fezzle Hash. Hash believes he can unite the Divid system by cloning a rightful heir to Harvoid 3 if he can obtain the former king's donation to the blood banks. To do that, You've agreed to infiltrate New Gothica, the night-drenched haven of the Terranors, a place no one from beyond the planet has ever been inside, and pull that royal sample from the jaws of the Bloodboard. Carpe Noctem. So here we are. But before we dig into the action of this heist, we will go through our overture. Um, this one is called A Vicious Game of Zealot. To better understand the conniving nature of the Terranors, you've secured an invitation to a secretive session of the card game Zealot. There will be high stakes gamblers from across the galaxy in attendance, including one of the few off world Terranors, Bellare Sanguerato, notoriously known to press his competition into wagering their blood. The first question that I have for you, the speakeasy for this game is a refitted shipwreck amid the debris of what was certainly an epic space battle. The traveler, Leland Zero, would know this, of course, because he was there when the battle happened. Just as kind of a warm-up question here, how can you tell that Leland Zero was a pivotal player in this skirmish?
You know the graffiti that he left on Bernice?
Yes, that zero with the X through it.
Yeah.
X
Yeah,
being
there's a
Leland.
couple of ships that are just sort of floating out here that have that graffiti painted on the sides of them.
Nice.
I think if you're studying the history of the battle, there are audio recordings of like intership chatter, and his distinctive voice comes through at fairly prominently.
I like to think Leland is the only person still banned from this area. Lots of other people have been allowed to come back, pick up any precious cargo that was left behind, get the bodies of their dead and beloved, but Leland banned by all parties, the
I
ones he
love it.
fought with and of the opponents.
The reason that there are space patrols around this area are just to keep Leland Zero out.
Yeah.
Lovely. And it provides enough cover for these underground, underspace games of Zealot. Um, our next prompt has to do with fix. Uh, in Zealot, each player brings their own deck of regional playing cards, often with special rules and mechanical functions, which are shuffled together for play. You've assembled the crew's deck to weight the odds and, of course, impress the other players. For the crew, oh, so one note, this is a form of the overture that's a little bit quicker, where there's not the call is just kind of setting up the context around the character, and then it's just the crew answering. So a thing that I'm experimenting with to have like a tighter version of the overture. Um, so the prompt for the rest of the crew, what card from your home system did you convince Fix to include in the deck?
The saber. It's a based on the dueling sabers that Katsira's family is
Ooh.
known for using.
What is the rule for that? How does it affect the game?
I think it I think it enables you to kind of do a mechanical humiliation of an opponent somehow that debuffs some of their cards in some way.
Love it. Yeah.
There's a card that's made out of a particular kind of metal that if you have robotic eyes, you can see the card next to it. No matter who's holding it, you can always see what that card is.
Ooh,
And the card is just it's blank and it's metal, and everybody calls it the robot card.
just the robot card.
Just the robot card. Nobody really knows what it
Lovely.
does. They just know that whenever there's a robot in the game, for some reason, there's always a robot card. Weird.
So Michael, roll a D2D6 to represent the two characters here, and then assign those based on how you think Fix feels about these cards being added to the deck.
All right, we got a 5 and a 3. Uh, I am all about getting inside information, so I think a robot card makes it nice and easy to cheat, so I'll throw the 5 there. Humiliation can be fun and has its place, but we'll give that the 3.
Makes sense. The next prompt here revolves around our Machina, Jane Doe 2.0. It is called Cheat. As the crew member with the best zealot face, you're representing the crew at the table, a selection that was only accepted after putting the rest of the crew's blood on the line. That last fact worries you because you quickly deduce Bellare may be cheating. For the rest of the crew, what clever tricks did you warn Jane Doe 2.0 to be on the lookout for?
I think that
While
that
you're thinking, I like to think that my face is just like completely blank. My wax face is just blank. Complete poker face.
Like rigid. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that one of the tells is like a deep supervillain laugh, but it's hard to differentiate from their "I'm just enjoying the game" laugh. So you actually have to like coach Jane on, no, listen, it's going to come from deeper in the chest. When they really think they have something going, there'll be a which is that's a tell to maybe back off, let them have that hand.
Right, right.
I think uh, there are times when you see his eyes flickering to something in a way that suggests that there's something in his field of vision that nobody else can see, like he's being fed information in some way.
So Amanda, roll two dice and tell us which is more helpful, or which, however you want to associate those dice.
I got a 4 and a 3. I am going to give the 4 to the field of vision because I can probably scan with my robot eyes and maybe spot what that field of vision thing outside of a field of vision. What I can probably figure out what it is. I'm going to give a 3 to the evil laugh because I'm not going to have a really good idea what is this the happy evil laugh or is this the evil laugh? It's going to be hard for me to tell.
And our final scene in this overture is Bust, revolving around Sierra, our royal. The game is interrupted when a robot Imperium warship arrives to impound the wreckage and the player's ship. So, and the player's ships. While the players of the game of Zealot, right? Like your players. That's what caught me up. I'm going to change the wording on that a little bit.
Participants, maybe.
Uh, yeah. While other crews are caught, including Bellares, you've taken to comms to negotiate with the warbots to let you go. For the rest of the crew, while Sierra is negotiating, how do you slyly sabotage the warship so that your crew can escape?
I assume we've been taken aboard the ship, and I'm going to unionize the robots there too.
Go to what works.
Yeah.
I was thinking some sort of biological agent in the air vents, that old classic.
And it's a tough choice. I got to roll some dice.
How does the biological agent affect the robots?
I think they're
Warbots, technically.
yeah, I think it's I think a lot of them still have some sort of a biological mesh that helps in the functioning of their brain.
Okay.
It's vat grown, but it's close enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There
Oh
there
boy.
are microorganisms that can feed on the substrate material that they use to process.
What have we
I rolled
got?
a I rolled a 6 and a 1.
The
So
one you can and should re-roll.
okay. And another 6.
Oh wow. So this is all very
Boxcars.
effective.
I think Sarah likes the mayhem implied by both of these solutions, that this is going to sow utter chaos, which is very much to her pleasing.
Mike, quick
Uh,
question about mechanics. When
yeah.
you roll a one in the bond dice, that doesn't kick up the watch, right?
Um, in the overture.
Yeah.
So when you're doing it in the heist, so
Okay,
when
got it.
we initiate bridging the void, so if there is a point where you are out of Bondi and you want to, or you've used your Bondi, or you've got a low Bondi and you want to try and upgrade it, you can do the bridging the void, which is
Got it.
the equivalent of a vulnerable move, and that allows you to re-roll it. And so that's why there is that option to just hold it, because if you roll a one, then it will increase the watch.
Yeah.
And that gets more risky as you go further down the line, right? Like you are going to start adding 2 ticks to the watch, and then you're going to start adding 2 ticks for every one or two that's rolled as you move further along in the course of the heist. So it adds some little bit of that like risk reward tension that is upping as you move through. Um, so that concludes how you participated in this crazy game of Zealot and are now zipping along to the planet of Terranor. So I'm going to give you your briefing for the score here. The loot that you're trying to get, to remind you, is the Blood of Harvoid 3, a storied but long dead ruler of the David system. Um, the basic explanation of the score here. So the Terranors are sly and they're secretive. So your biggest challenge in heisting New Gothica is simply that we don't know how much, or we don't know much about what goes on inside. So you're going to have to figure out how to get into a domed city where only Terranors are allowed, then find the closely guarded location of the Blood Banks. The Terranors will definitely sniff out an unauthorized withdrawal from the banks, which means an entire civilization of space vampires between you and freedom once you've got Harvoid Three's blood. Assuming you can exit New Gothica itself, we expect the port to be locked down, which will also black out the power to the exterior structures. So the essentially to break that down into 4 little parts. Our first obstacle is how to gain access to the domed city of New Gothica. Our second one is how to locate the entrance to the banks. The third is trying to evade all the Terranors that you will have upset by stealing a blood sample from the very secretive blood banks. And then the fourth is just getting your ship out off of the planet. So that's going to be the course of the heist. This is that point where we will take a break and we'll come back at the top of the hour here. So fill out decide what your heist kit is going to be. For each of you, you get to pick 3 because this is a full-length heist. Hooray! So you'll pick 2 from the gray list, and then that third one, you each have a special selection based on your persona. So for Sierra, you are going to take the Royal Contact. I don't think we talked about this last time. So essentially, when we start out, you will just declare someone that you are supposed to meet. So you can give me a general idea, like if is that a Terranor's inside of the city? Is it a noble? Is it a commoner? Is it somebody that you just know is going to be there for a deposit? You can give me a general idea. You can add specifics to it. However you want to handle it is fine. This is you establishing the social realm of the Planet Raygun galaxy. So that would be your third. And then what happens is you just have to find that person, and they will give you an asset for free, essentially, like an asset from the heist itself. Jane Doe 2.0, you get the Machina slot, so you don't have to choose the third thing. You get to essentially make it manifest it during the heist. And then Fix, you get to pick from the special list of extra special stuff. That's where we're at. So yeah, take some time, take a little breather, and we'll be back at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Whatever everyone's Pacific time here. No,
Mountain time.
Tremendous mountain.
Mountain time.
I'll be back at noon.
All right. Well, I'll see you then. All right. Oh, but it's gonna fill the silence. I was gonna wait and then say, and we're back. So there's a little bit of a pause because when I was listening to last time, but it will cut the silence. So we're back. Hello, everyone. We are uh, at the perimeter of our heist here, the Wastes of Terranor. You have pulled in to this planet. The planet itself is just covered in lakes of steaming, glowing liquid that lolls low amid jutting fins of sooty gray stone. It's really an awful place. So awful that at least one ship has crashed into the planet's surface. Most ships, though, dock in Terranor's rotating port for a few spins. Crews donate blood, shop at the antiquities market, and leave. The city's elaborate wrought iron dome shimmers as bolts of lightning strike it. And the jewel of this crown is the all welcome hall, where blood is donated to the Terranor's society reviving safeguard. Uh, to break some of that down, the New Gothica is under this giant wrought iron dome. And now I'm just repeating myself. The facility is outside of the dome, though. So people donate blood at this all welcome hall and then head back to the port and zip off. You have pulled into what they call the centrifugal. I'm not pronouncing it well. This is like the curator issue. Uh, centrifugal port. I don't know why I can't pronounce it today. Towering cylinder with three wheel-like docking systems high above the planet. Ships dock at full speed, making the wheels revolve. A turbine transfers their kinetic energy into power for the planet. As you pull in, you see that there are ushers coming up and welcoming people to Terranor, to this beautiful planet. Um, and as you are looking around, waiting for an usher to come to the three of you, you notice that someone you hoped to never meet again has just arrived to donate blood. Who is it, and what are they holding?
I feel like it's going to be somebody that Fix knows. Since Fix is sort of the guest star on, like we have Fix here for a reason,
Hmm.
mostly because Leland couldn't come because he's banned. But we have Fix coming with us for a reason, so I think it is someone that Fix knows.
Uh, I think then it's a rival curator who specializes in collection of uh, optics, and it
Hmm.
was from them that I lost my eyes originally on a bad bet in a competition. So I had always been planning one day to go back and raid their collection and get my actual eyes back, and not these ridiculous alien eyes that I've been burdened with. I think that what they are holding is some sort of VIP's frozen storage container that they're delivering blood that was actually collected somewhere else.
Sierra or Jane, any other details you want to add to this rival curator?
Yeah, I think the blood was stolen. I think it was supposed to be delivered by somebody else. The reason I think that is because it says property of space ambulance on it.
Property of Space Ambulance. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When there are so many languages in the universe, sometimes the strongest branding is just to have the most obvious name.
Hmm.
And Space Ambulance really set themselves apart when it comes to healthcare.
When you need an ambulance in space, just
Yeah.
call Space Ambulance.
When you
See,
think Space
you get
Ambulance,
the jingle stuck in your head so easy because of
Hmm.
that.
It's
how
easily
about
translatable. Yeah.
how about Leonid for a name of the rival collector?
Love it.
Mm.
Is there a particular alien race we want to highlight that they should belong to?
If you wanted, we haven't seen a Perry yet. These are the bird people of this galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have these giant wings, but they sort of like fold them in as if they are like cloaks or capes, so they can participate in in regular society. Yeah, and move about halls like it, yeah, just a way that they choose to socially present themselves within within crowds. So, yeah, I would imagine that Leonid is a Perry curator. Is maybe wearing some type of mask, so you can't really see their beak, and yeah, are breathing through it for whatever reason here. Uh, as UI Leonid, there is an usher that is coming up to you. She has a long Goudet skirt, a crop blazer, and is wearing a name badge that you can see says Carmilla. And she is carrying complimentary cocktails for you all. There is just this ambient hum in this station as all of these people are being welcomed, and even just the whirring of this port structure. And you can look around and you see panoramic views of it's like one of those revolving bars essentially. So you can look out the windows here and you can see the entire planet. You see the dome. You see this big like crashed wreck of a ship that's sitting in this pool of acid. And then you can also see the All Welcome Hall, where you would be donating blood if that is something that you want to do, connected to what is called the Bureau of Wonder, which is essentially a shopping mall that is half inside and half outside the dome. So that tourists can come and shop, but then there are also connected shops that are walled off. Um, okay, no worries, Rob. They're yeah, the Bureau of Wonder is walled off in between the two halves. Somehow they must make the business work, but that is how the structure, the architecture is set up here. Carmilla comes up to you though, and you almost get uh, you almost get the vibe of her being like a goth children's librarian. She's polite but pushy, and she just is always kind of like trying to like nudge people along. Even as she is coming up to you, she's saying like, "Excuse me, can you go over there? Just yes." 5 feet that way. We have to keep everything very orderly here. And she comes up to you with these cocktails and passes them out to the three of you. Salutations, dears. I assume that you're here for a donation.
I'm here to discuss a donation. What is in this?
I
Oh, just a
think
little bit of this, a little bit of that. All the good stuff, really.
like Fix eagerly grabs like one of them, and then you hear like they put their teeth on a syringe to like pop the cap off and draw it in, and then put it into something else and shake it up and look at it as it turns a disgusting black color. Like, oh, very refreshing. Thank you so much.
And I
Oh,
think
I'm glad you appreciate it.
with that, Sarah just tosses it down and then hands the glass to Jane Doe to take care of.
I think I just open a compartment in my chest and put the glass inside and close it back up.
And she just very like quickly and I don't want to say like abruptly, but just like very suddenly, like just pulls out like a towel and like wipes up the spill that Sierra has made of dropping the drink and stands back up as if nothing has happened. And turns to you and says, "Before we begin, a reminder. Please keep your speaking volume below the atmospheric noise. Every little sacrifice made here might revive the galaxy someday, and we must all show reverence to that gift of immortality."
Well, I'm not alive, but I will try to ensure that I respect the wishes of the living.
Oh, yes, there are plenty Machina who do visit. You may enjoy shopping in the Bureau of Wonder or simply escorting your um, more juicy companions to the donation chambers.
Is anybody taking these? And I think Fix will take two more of them and then just kind of like tip them up and just soak the alien eyes in them for a little while.
I'll take
Uh,
those
I
glasses too.
I suppose
Thank
that's
you
a
so much.
thing that you can do. Is there any where that I can guide you? That any place that I can help you locate while you're here?
Perhaps not a place, but a person.
Oh, who would that be? If you need to cut out a character here, that is also fine to describe what you're thinking.
I'm thinking of my royal contact, which I'm
Hmm.
picturing is someone who, he's one of the Theranor, um, who is particularly keen to get hold of a sample of someone from my bloodline, and therefore maybe amenable to some kind of quid pro quo in return for that.
Yeah. Um, let's say that it is someone named Massimo Thrust.
That sounds like a porn star name. Okay.
Doesn't it though?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Mr. Massimo Thrust. I had
Oh,
arranged to meet with him.
oh, Massimo.
By your reaction, I see that you are familiar with him.
Um, yeah, he's she's trying to like she's trying to present a good face to you and is having issues with it. He's certainly a unique taste.
I have yet to make his acquaintance in person myself, but I will take that under advisement.
I'm sure you can run into him at the Bureau of Wonder. He tends to hang around the alleys there.
The alleys.
Yes, the alleys. There are many shops and quite a lot of traffic and the occasional um, jaunt away from the hustle and bustle of the rest of the bureau.
I see a seedy underbelly. How delightful.
Massimo would definitely think so. Someone like me, oh, it's a little bit much.
If one was
Dangerous?
interested in
Go ahead.
if one was interested in touring your banks, how would one you must have some sort of tour guide or considering how proud you are of your great works here.
Who would this someone be?
Me. I would like to see them.
Oh, no, no.
And why not?
No one is allowed into the blood banks, much less New Gothica itself.
Very sensible. Would you mind
See,
spitting
this
into a
guy
cup?
knows. Another cup?
No, I was
I
wondering if you would mind spitting into a cup.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, some other time.
Yes. Are you seem like the most likely here to be donating blood? Is that what
Yes,
I gather?
absolutely. I have I have something very special, I think, for your collection. Do you have any sort of a VIP entrance for those who are bringing the rarer stuff?
How rare are we talking about here?
He leans in really close. The rarest. You know the kind of sample that civilizations fall over? Hmm? The one that you almost don't dare to dream about obtaining?
I do need specifics. I'm just an usher.
This is why you don't get specifics. This is why you direct me to the people who get specifics.
Let's head down to the hall and I'll let you sort
Perfect.
things out there.
Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to do. The hall.
Um, Carmilla begins escorting you to the hall. I think she looks to Sierra as you are passing the Bureau of Wonder and says, "Do you want to donate first and then head to the Bureau to meet Mr. Thrust, or head over there right now to indulge in whatever insidious behavior you have in mind?"
While Massimo and I were to discuss my potential donation, so perhaps there first.
All right, it's just down that way. And again, just look for the darkest, dankest area of that entire facility, and you will surely find Massimo.
I have a knack for discovering dark corners. Thank you.
I would assume so if you're friends with Mr. Thrust.
I wouldn't say friends, but
I would. The rest of you, come along.
So you said
Uh,
that this is just out of character. You said
yeah,
that this place was powered by lightning strikes?
Partly lightning strikes, but then also just the ships come and they dock in at full speed. So it's essentially like this breaking kinetic energy capture sort of power station. So partly
All
like they
right.
get some extra power just from ships coming in at full speed, and then
A
the
parking
this
carousel.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mm,
yeah.
I would like to check out this parking carousel.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just going to like step away quietly as
Yeah.
Carmilla is leading Fix away and Sierra heads down to the seedy underbelly.
Um, I think Carmilla does notice that you have faded away and kind of like leans in to Fix and says, I noticed that your Machina companion has left us. That's really no worry. They're not of much value to us here. But
You did notice
sh
that she does have that extra compartment, so limited use to us. Certainly enough to keep her around.
Oh, I understand why Machina are very important to the world outside of Terranor. Um, But I just want to clarify, she's not going to be a problem, is she?
She has not been to date. What about a cotton swab on the inside of your cheek?
No, not at
Okay,
all.
just thought I'd
Uh,
ask. We could always circle back.
Sierra, you have entered the Bureau of Wonder. This uh, this area, like I said, is split down the middle by the domed wall of the city, and it's this like the structure itself is this octagonal puzzle box of a building, and it houses countless antiquities dealers. The finest wares that are sold are within the barrier, but there's a lot that's still valuable outside of the barrier of the city. Um, Despite the stately aesthetic, though, every wood trimmed hallway here still smells of Terranor's acidic fumes. Um, Everyone, help me paint the scene. What specialty shop draws a very particular clientele? And why wouldn't you fit in?
I think there's collectible dolls called Thera that they're put out in limited batches. I wouldn't fit in because they're mostly for children and arrested adults.
Okay.
Also, seen enough markets rise and crash where they're of extreme value for a very limited time, and then eventually you just
Oh,
find that you've
sure.
got a bunch of Thera that aren't worth anything and you can't give them away.
Yeah.
There is a gift shop and it has clothing items, things that say, I went to Terranor and all I got was this t-shirt, and things like that, or saying I donated blood at Terranor, and you should too, that sort of thing. And I think the reason that I would not fit in is that it's all like super tourists, like
Mm.
people who are, cameras around their necks, have pamphlets and brochures for all the different things to check out, that get on the hop on, hop off uh tour bus that goes through all of the alleyways and up and down all of the aisles.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think there's a seedy little hole in the wall selling what it claims to be rejected blood samples. So, you can buy a necklace with a little vial of with a drop of blood or
Ooh.
things that are surplus to requirements because they already have sufficient samples of that particular bloodline or something like that. Why would I not fit in there? I think I'd be worried that if someone recognized me in there, they would be extremely keen to get some of my blood
Mm.
to sell.
Which, in fact, is one of your worries in meeting up with Massimo Thrust, as you know, an eccentric Terranors. Um, and as you are navigating past these shops and headed down one of these alleys that has that particular acidic smell of the planet's surface, you see Massimo at the end of a tunnelway. And he uh, is wearing a suit that you can see from a mile away. It's the reason that you can see him down this tunnel. It is white and it is lined with gleaming little light bulbs. And he is standing at the end of this hall in a very like Bob Fosse kind of choreographed like stance and just like frozen in this weird like contorted pose and is just staring. Um, at you, and you can see that he recognizes you.
I'll just march straight up and just kind of give him a wordless look up and down, taking in his attire and his posture.
And he is trying to stay absolutely still. You see, he has stringy hair. He is physically old, and his fingernails are just like talons. And at some point, the two of you are staring at each other, and he goes, Kasira.
Is this some manner of performance piece?
I feel like I've been standing here for ages waiting for you.
You look as if you have.
And he
I'm
changes
flattered.
poses like he's in another Fosse-esque configuration.
I'm flattered that you would wait so long.
For your family, anything. So, what is bringing you here to our planet? You are not the type that needs to be donating blood.
That
We
is
already
true,
have a few samples of your family.
but none of me precisely. And I am a unique offshoot.
True.
As to my purpose here, well, my purpose is as ever on my own, but I could arrange a sample if, well, I'm curious to see the vaults. I'm aware that nobody is permitted inside, but surely for a special guest, an exception might be made.
As you know, I can't let you in, but I could perhaps give you some advice.
That could be acceptable.
Um, let's do this. Sorry, I'm looking through the assets here. Oh, okay. So, he continues kind of like moving through these like dance poses every few seconds and says, have I ever, you know why I'm doing this, don't you? Have we ever talked about this before?
Not to my recollection.
There's a thing that some of us do. Um, we've created little gaps in the dome. We use them to lure some donors in for our own purposes.
I hope you do not intend to lure me through such a gap, but that does sound interesting.
Oh no, for me, it's just the joy of the dance, really.
This dance is the lure, then, she says with a kind of
No,
scornful,
no, the
slightly scornful look.
dance. The dance, my friend, is life. If you stop dancing, you're just a flimsy bag of blood. Live, my friend. Dance to live. Dance for the hunt. But I'm sure that you can find someone else's trap and perhaps sneak through. So, the piece of information that he is giving you here is that some of the Terranors have created gaps in security to trap donors.
Mm.
The as an associate of Massimo, I think you would also have some understanding of the Terranors themselves.
Mm.
They are effectively host bodies that are teeming with parasitic wormlings. So the Terranors are actually these wormlings. If you're bit by a host, it certainly draws blood, but that is the bigger thing is injecting these parasitic wormlings into your body. When they are sucking blood, they are kind of sampling the new home to decide if it
There's
is
an
a place that they want to move to.
There's an exchange going on, yeah. That is the last thing I want. Good.
Yeah. So there probably is some distance that you are keeping from Massimo. I
Mm,
don't know. It's
yes.
up to you if you have revealed some of these horrors to the rest of the crew. But that is what you know, and probably like as Massimo is talking to you about these traps. Like, I think the insidious thing that you are detecting is that they are like hunting these hosts and sampling them in these like dank back alleys. Um, let's cut over to let's go to Jane Doe 2.0. Jane, you are headed towards the base, kind of the power facility for these uh this yeah, this the ports. And as you're headed down, there's you walk past this human, presumably human, person. They have this like too long cape that they're wearing, really dark eyeshadow, and they've got plastic fangs in their mouth. And they are sitting cross-legged, kind of head hanging down, next to the wall, near this sort of like power facility, and um, is just saying, "They won't let me go. Why?
Are
Why?
you quite all right?
No, they won't let me go.
Won't let you go where?
Go inside. They
They
won't let
only
me
let
donate anymore." And you can see he has like puncture marks all down his arm. They won't let me donate anymore. They won't let me go inside. They won't help me, please.
Here, and I'm going to open up my chest and pull out one of the glasses that still has liquid in it from when Fix was rinsing out his eyeballs. Here, have a drink.
I've had
Calm down.
those. I've had a lot
Yes,
of those.
have another and tell me everything you know. Tell me what you've already done. Maybe we can find a way to get you in.
I've done all the things, everything that I thought they wanted, I've done. I don't know anymore. I need help.
I would like to help you. Just breathe in, breathe out. That is what humanoids do, correct?
Sometimes, but not now.
Sometimes.
I don't want to.
Okay,
I
you don't.
just want to go in.
What is your name?
Stelio. Stelio Mud.
Delio Mud.
Hmm.
That is quite the name.
Why won't they let me in? I have so many friends inside. They should just let me in. All my friends are
Did
there.
did they tell you why you can't come in anymore?
No.
When was the last time you were in?
Give me a collection roll with presence here.
Great. I'm so presentsful. No, that was a lie. 8.
An 8. Okay. Um, let's cut over to Fix, as I think through that. Fix, you and Carmilla have arrived at the All Welcome Hall. This is The All Welcome Hall is this brutalist concrete structure just outside New Gothica on the planet's surface. And inside, as you step into it, it is this lobby that is like a cathedral nave. There is a banner hanging from the ceiling that says "We want your blood" in giant letters. Uh, and there are, at the end of this space, there are just these hulking, and you somewhat knew what to expect, and you certainly have taken samples, biological samples from other individuals and other things over your time, but these things are just hulking, monstrous, like blood, um, blood suckers. They have enormous syringes, and these just like vats. Um, Everyone, help me paint the scene. How do the Terranors try to make everyone who donates to their cause feel like a grand and noble hero? Perhaps to overcome the fear of these giant blood extraction devices.
Is it dumb to think that each of them gets like an entrance theme? So music, fireworks, a jog down a red carpet to the donation spot, just treated like a VIP that everyone's excited to see come in. So I think maybe people think about their playlists on the whole visit or the whole trek over.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
As you exit out of the collection area, you exit through the gift shop, because that is, of course, what happens. But you can
Mhm.
get your picture taken with a big fake vial of blood, and it says hero, literally hero, at the top of it, and you can bring that home for your own photo collection. Um,
Ooh, lovely.
and they give you, if you donate a lot of blood, they give you a little crown.
That's very nice of them. Um, as you step in, Carmilla leans to you and says, "Oh, what's that I hear? Is that your theme song?" And there is amongst the big cushy chairs where people are kind of sitting after they've had blood extracted and resting up before they get their photo taken and move through the gift shop. Um, there, all of the walls and the flooring is this dark mahogany wood, and there is just a lonely piano, and you just hear the dink 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 of the piano kind of like warming up and like churning into this very like epic rendition of some song that you vaguely remember and probably have some affection for. And
Mhm.
she says, "Go make your grand entrance. Give to the future of this universe that we all live in. The red carpet is yours, my friend."
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do you need all of your hair? If I could just bring like a little pair of
She,
scissors out.
like her initial response is just another no, and then
Yeah.
she catches her. No, wait, yes, yes, I do need all my hair. I'm going to just let you go. I feel like I've gotten you to the right spot here, and
Mm-hmm.
I am. Um,
It's just the only reason I bring it up is there's only 1,361 days left for this universe, and I would hate to see you not represented in the next one.
give me a collection roll with presence here.
All right.
Or I don't know, presence or composure, just from the whole like you're trying to
Trying to
wear
tune
her
out the
down. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. That gets us an 8.
Cool. What are you I think
What
she's
am I
just
doing?
no, I think she just kind of like is there something that I can give you that's not me?
Well, now that's an interesting question. Is there something you can give me? Maybe it would help if I give you some context. Now, I am forming an arc of life. Just a little collection of the things that I feel should survive the death of this universe, which again, 1,361 days away.
She
Not so
plucks
very long.
something off of a ledge
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of like you notice is like skittering by.
Mm-hmm.
She grabs it and she says, "Here, this will be perfect for you. And in your possession is now a sentient hand.
Great.
Uh, it has been trained as a painter, which she tells you. I
Hmm.
think this one is trained as a painter, like a that earthy Van Gogh guy. Um,
The colors, the swirls,
you
bit
know.
pedestrian, but sure.
Well, I'll leave you to become acquainted with your new hand. Goodbye.
Hmm.
And she
As she
just
turns,
kind of
already
like,
like swabbing the fingers.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
All right.
Um, the complication here is
Mm-hmm.
that you are now being ushed into a blood extractor.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and you feel these giant syringes as you are I don't know, like it feels like maybe you're like preoccupied with the hand and like
Yeah.
trying to understand how it works as you're kind of being like nudged and moved along
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Like not even really noticing.
you sit down in this like chair and all of a sudden you hear the sort of no, this might hurt a little bit.
Mhm.
um I don't know, how would you respond to that prompt?
I hope so.
And whoop, there's a giant syringe that is injecting or is now like, and you can feel the suck of it.
Yeah.
Um, and they say, "Don't worry, we'll replace what we take with something that's synthetic and just as good."
I think there's like weird alien tears streaming down Fix's cheeks. And he's just like, I don't need it.
Let's cut back over to Jane Doe 2.0. Um, we left you. I do owe you an asset here. Um,
Yeah, I was talking with the vampire wannabe.
Steelio Mud, yeah.
Steelio. Steelio mud.
Steelio Steelio looks up at you with big puppy dog eyes, uh, and just says, "It's just an incredible mission. They're saving the universe before it needs saving."
I understand. And
I get
well,
that purpose. I get it. You get it, but I get it more. I
yes,
need
but
that purpose.
I'm a machina. I don't need that purpose, for I'm immortal, effectively. However, I do
You
have a
already have
friend.
it, then you don't need it. I need it. I told you I need it, and you don't need it. And I know that you get it, but you don't need it, but I need it.
I do
And
have a friend that has a similar purpose in his life. He's creating an arc of life because the universe is ending, so he thinks,
that
in
sounds boring.
1,361 days.
This sounds boring.
No, you could be the spokesperson for this arc of life with the passion that you have for this project.
All I need is just one of those parasites inside of me, and then I can be a Terranor's. Just one.
Parasites.
Why? Why can't it just be one? I don't need a dozen. I don't need 2 dozen. I don't even need 3 or 4. I just need one. Just one. I just want to be one of them. One of them. One of them. You've gained a little piece of information here, which is it only takes a single parasite in a host body to be identified as Terranors.
Well, Stilio, if you do not want my help, as much as I can give it, I'm afraid that I cannot give you anything else. I do
Go,
not
get
have
out of
anything
here.
to.
I never liked you anyway.
Well, I never
Go,
liked you either.
go with the other bold buckets over there. And he like points
Oh,
to
bucket.
this like crashed ship in the middle of an acid lake. That's where you belong. I belong in there. You belong there.
I'm leaving. This guy's rude.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
I tried to help you, kid.
No, you didn't. You tried to tell me about some boring other thing that's not blood.
Blood fetishist. I hate fetishists. The
Why won't
worst.
they let me go in?
I'm a stomp off. And I think it's like extra loud because I'm mechanical. And it
Um,
echoes. It's above the ambient noise.
where do you feel like you're headed?
I think I still want to check out the power station.
Okay, deeper into the power station here.
Yeah.
Um, I think that the complication here is that sort of the risk of this area. So there's this idea of risk, and normally that's like the association of the watch. And it's just kind of locked in from like area to area. So perimeter, low risk,
Yeah.
facility, medium risk, and then high risk as we're moving back out. And I
So
think
would this
like
be moving us into a higher risk space? Because I can do something else.
so I think that this is just like the fact that like Stelio Mud is yelling about robots not belonging here is bringing a certain amount of attention and a certain extra level
Ah,
of risk to this.
thanks.
Other than that makes a role here more risky, like it has a higher
All right,
chance
I'm okay with that.
of pumping up the watch, then that's yeah, basically what it is. So we'll move
All right.
from low risk to what is called normal risk on a heist here. Um, are you? Tell me a little bit more about like as you're headed into this area. I think you probably see some machinas that are working on things and these Terranors as well, who are just operating the facility. I think that it's kind of snoozy. Like this is a thing that has gotten worked into a science,
Okay.
and I think that they're probably just like relaxed and
Yeah.
hanging out. And I think that that's even why the ruckus has raised their attention here. Um, but other than that, like you see all of these, yeah, big capacitor units, and you can kind of hear that like crackle of energy. Maybe that sense of that spark of electricity here reminds you of that little sensation that you had where you felt like maybe you were alive when the life vaporizing scanner touched your
Zapped me
finger.
a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking on that, and I think as I think on that, I instead of going towards the Machinas like I would normally do, go to interact with them, I'm going to go interact with the Terranor that are in the area, that are kind of maybe just on break from their job, having a blood coffee or whatever it is they drink. Um,
Um, yeah. Uh,
I think I just go up
you
to them and say, "What was with that guy out there?"
What was with that guy out there? He's been out there for hours.
I think he's a little bit, you know, obsessed with blood,
Oh.
if you
Oh,
know what I
that's
mean.
that Stelio Mud kid.
Mm-hmm. He
Oh
called me a
boy.
bucket of bolts.
Well, that's rude.
Isn't that rude?
Yeah, that is rude.
Thank you
You're a
for
useful
understanding.
machine.
Thank you. I work very hard to be very useful.
Just like a any other important bolt in a large mechanical system, you are useful.
We're all cogs in the system of life.
Now,
I just
you're
don't happen
not
to be alive.
useful in the way that we think about use here on Terranor, but certainly
Hmm.
useful.
Well, the way that you exist on Terranor is very different than the way existence works on other planets. So I believe that makes sense.
It's good for you to believe that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you
Um,
ever find it morally repugnant doing what you do?
before I answer that question, where are your keepers?
donating blood.
Oh, we've told the ushers they really shouldn't let your kind wander around freely.
Oh, I was helping, and then I open up my chest to show the empty glasses. I was helping clean up. Close it back up.
Yes, this is the power station. This is not the trash disposal, though.
Ah, I see. I must have gotten
Ushers
turned around.
should know to steer you in the right direction for these kind of things.
Well, they were very busy with so many people coming in to donate blood to your wonderful cause.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was that you were asking me about
Well, as a
the
creature that is,
morality of what we do here?
yeah, as something that is not alive, I do not find it particularly bothersome to stop the lives of other things. Does it feel similar to for what you do when you take over another body, for example? Do you split yourself in two to take over that body, or do you dump the body that you're currently in and get the new body? It's all very
Um,
interesting from a robotic perspective.
yeah, roll a collection with reason here.
Reason. Oh, Lord. That's my best one. Four. And I
What are
rolled a
the
one.
and a one? So we're going to, and this is a medium normal risk area that you are
Yeah,
in currently. So we are going to tick up our watch by two ticks. Oh wait, yes, two ticks. So we're one tick away from go time, which is when we have to move on to the next phase of our plan
I'm
of our
helping.
heist, regardless. Um, I don't know. Is there an opportunity for a Bandai here? Would you like to use a bona fide? I think well, let me lay out the consequence here. Um,
Yes.
you have made some salacious accusations of the Terranors and what they do and why, perhaps
No, no,
inadvertently.
I'm not judging this at all.
They are judging your response
Oh,
as judging them. Um, and I think that they will, um, they're going to um, essentially escort and sentence you to labor on the wreck of the Lazarus, um, to be with your kind, and not to be mingling with anyone here on Terranor's, and especially not your crew.
ugh. Well, that's kind of fun because then I get to go see what the Lazarus is like. I think I'm going to try and use a bona fide.
All right.
How do I do that?
You choose which one you would like to have revealed. So you have these four prompts available to you. And essentially, you give us a little bit of backstory. It's like the branch, the mask, the key in other CFB games. You just give us a kind of little scene or description where we learn a little bit more. Could be a flashback to
Mhm.
understanding a little bit more about this particular aspect of
Yeah.
yourself.
I think I think there's another spark of electricity and Jane starts a little as if they just got shocked.
Hmm.
And there's a fizzle around the metal plate on the top of her head that is a slightly different color than the rest of the metal. It's sort of more purplish while the rest is more grayish. And there is a fade in, a camera fade in or fade out, and a fade in on an empty robot head with a missing plate on the top, and it's all gray. And you can see that the plate is on a table nearby. It's recently just been soldered off. Is that the opposite of soldering something on? Yes, it is. We're going to say that it is. I know about mechanics and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and we see these gloved hands reaching into a jar and pulling out a gooey but totally human brain, not grown in a vat, and placing it inside the robot head. And we see hands maneuvering around, plugging in wires, plugging in pieces of battery, plugging in little circuits into the goopy parts and the little crevices
Hmm.
of the
Hmm.
brain,
Hmm.
and then putting a purple, easy to remove cap on the top.
Ooh.
The camera fades back in, and Jane almost shudders a little and says, maybe it isn't morally right to just take pieces from living creatures to use for your own.
Ooh. So you have revealed your surface? Is that?
Yes, I have a an easy to remove metal plate on my head that is different
Hmm.
metal than the rest of my body. That is because I have a human brain in there.
Yeah. Juicy. Um,
Quite
I th
literally.
yeah. I think as you sort of like have that sort of like electric shocky flashback to this moment, the this Terranor's labor, you kind of see like their nose kind of pick up as they are kind of like sniffing. Um, and um, say, "Oh, interesting. You're one of those. Your programming and who you are in conflict, and I feel like you're making some hasty assumptions about what we do. We don't take life, we inject more life.
Hmm.
Is that something you would be interested in?"
Would I lose who I am?
You would gain so much more.
What if just one were to become part of my body?
Lovely. Let's cut over to Fix. This is a as Jane Doe 2.0 is discussing an injection. Fix has undergone an extraction. Fix, I think you'll have the condition of blood drawn here, or blood depleted, something like that, however you want to word it or phrase it. Um, you've had a lot of blood extracted and donated into the blood banks. How are you feeling?
Like a hero.
You definitely got a crown.
Hmm.
um, would you like a crown, sir?
Yes.
They're very nice, and I'm glad to have given one today. None of the rest of these souls have been so forthcoming with their own donations. You have certainly raised our ability to survive as a universe.
This is all I've ever wanted. Would you mind licking this strip? I assure you it's harmless. Just a celebratory lick.
Give me a collection. And I think this is with disadvantage for what it's
Hmm.
worth. Composure again?
Sure. How does a shiny 4 sound?
Sounds bad. Um, I think what's going to happen here is you're going to collapse with all of this blood pulled out of you, and you're going to need one of your compatriots to come and pick you up. Um, you are going to be on the floor of the all welcome hall. And I think they're a little disappointed in you and not being able to withstand this, and they are going to take back the crown as you are. I think you're conscious, but effectively incapacitated on the ground.
Oh, hell no. This will not stand. I earned that crown.
There is the opportunity to. Oh, what were the dice on this for?
It was a 1 and a 2.
It's a one and a two. So guess what, folks?
We're
Is
doing
go
it.
time. um, we will come to that. You can change the effect here, though,
Hmm.
overall, in order to get another asset. You could use a bona fide, or someone could offer a Bondi. And if they offer a Bondi on the one, it actually would negate the watch tick here.
Boy, if only anyone had ever bonded with me. But
Yeah,
as a guest star, I think I have to spend a bona fide to bump it up.
you're gonna do it that way. Okay,
Hmm.
lovely.
All right. So I think it's already been established when I introduced the character. We're doing appendage. The piece of me that was replaced was my eyes. Which is why I have these weird diamond lily pad eyeballs. Why do I want them back? These eyes make background radiation visible for me in a way that is telling me how long the universe has to live.
Whoa.
And I would love not to know that anymore and to go back to it being a surprise because it has come with such anxiety and
Uh-huh.
responsibility. Um, who has it? I think we established Leonid, the Perry collector who is here,
Uh-huh.
was the one who took my original eyes. It was a
Um,
misunderstanding.
I want to ask a question about how this functions. Does the time shift? Like you always know based on the events that are happening in the universe just how far away
Yes,
it
and
is,
it's
but it's
not a cover
constantly
for the fact
moving?
that I didn't write down how many days I declared and that it's going to change every time he declares how many days are left in the universe.
Okay.
It's shifting. It's in flux.
Um, I love this. This is very cool. So Sierra, Fix, Jane Doe 2.0. Um, oh, I have to give you an asset based on this though. Um, what I would like you, as I dig through the assets, to start thinking about is it's go time. So with Jane Doe 2.0 becoming of particular interest to the Terranor, and perhaps getting an injection, with uh, um, Syrah in these corridors where uh, Terranors are trying to trap people, to gather blood for their own uses, or gather their perhaps their bodies, utilize their bodies. And with Fix collapsed on the, or not collapsed, but weakened, you are feeling like this is only going to get worse. We are going to A, gain too many parasites inside of our person, B, lose too much blood, or C, in the case of Syrah, perhaps some mix of both. It may be it is definitely time to get moving on this heist. Um, so your first objective that you are looking to overcome here is how can you gain access to the domed city? So the specific obstacles that you need to overcome for this phase are or aspects of the obstacle are this sprawling wrought iron dome that is encasing the city, gates that only open for the Terranors, and it's all electrified by lightning strikes. So you can't just like climb on top, or you're going to get zapped and electrocuted. That's the situation here. Um, the asset that I believe that you gain, because it's you, we're going to do it this way. Um, Tell me, as you feel as you feel weary and are about to collapse to the ground, but remember your eyes, and you remember that Leonid is here, and
Hmm.
your eyes are so close you can't collapse now. Um, um, yeah, like what does it look like as you are like mustering your energy back up?
I think that Fix initially is crawling along the floor towards the gift shop, and their crown has fallen off, but they still have it in a death grip in one hand. With steely eyed determination, they're going to make it into the gift shop where there are more universally safe, mass produced Gatorade style electrolyte replacing drinks that are different from the ones that the people from Theranor would have given him. And
Um,
one way or the other, he's like, I will not die here. I
as
am
you
going
see
to
all
quench my thirst.
as you see all of these bottles of Spacerade or whatever we want to call it, Meteorade,
Plasma punch.
Plasma Punch, um, um, in the beverage department, your eyes catch something that you simply cannot resist. It is a Methuselah bottle of Amontillado, and you will obtain that instead of any of these other drinks because it will surely quench your thirst more adequately than anything else on these shelves. Well, here we are, folks. How are we getting into New Gothica?
Well, I think the secret entrances, the gaps in the security to trapped owners looks promising
Hmm.
because that would seem to bypass the fact that only Theranos can get in because if they're taking other people inside to trap them, that can't be the case. And presumably also bypass the electric field that's surrounding the dome.
Um, Yeah, so let's review all the assets that we're working with here too. So we've got that, the gaps in security where donors are trapped, a single parasite. So, and this is maybe a review for Rob as well. We learned that it just takes a single parasite to be detected as a Terranors. No more. I guess no less. You can certainly have more. Uh, Fix has obtained a Methuselah bottle of Amontillado and a sentient hand that's been trained as a painter. But I think that that's all the assets that you've gained.
I think so.
Uh, yes. Did I owe you one? Oh, I owe you one, Jane, for the interaction with the Terranors down here.
Yes. I'm assuming I'm getting injected with uh because I'm going to convince this Terranor to inject me for at least one. Imagine how cool that would be to be the only Terranor who's also a robot who's also flying around in space all the time.
Um, Yeah. Uh I I think that they are like trying to pitch you on the idea. And they're saying, like, you don't even have to tell any of your friends. There are many of us out there that you would never know. When did you arrive?
Just recently, we just arrived.
What time? I understand. No one is here for very
Oh,
long.
uh, at, and I give the specific time.
Here, hang on a second. And pulls up like a computer screen, and you see your ship like docking, and yeah, what we played through the three of you coming out, and you see all three of you like looking at Leonid.
Yeah.
And the camera it kind of sees that and says, "That one right there, Terranor's. You'd
Ha!
never know it."
It's a surprise. Truly a surprise. Well, if I don't lose part of myself, only just gain things, why not?
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
Um, let's give you the condition Terranor's.
Yay! Do conditions last between heists?
Oh, this is we probably should have done this in the bookkeeping. This is one of the things that I noted to myself is to clear the ones that would not be relevant anymore. You would hold the ones that are still relevant, kind of the classic like
Yeah.
Carr from Brindlewood thing here.
So I have enemy of management, but I think I have only enemy of management of that particular space station. I don't think they
That's
would have.
probably fair. Yeah.
Though you did immediately try and
Right.
unionize another group. It
Yeah,
may
you've
very
been
well
trying
be.
to
You did it
unionize a
again.
lot of
All
groups. I
right.
think you keep
Enemy
that
of management.
one.
You're becoming notorious across intergalactic management. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, okay. So the other asset that you have gained here is a flaw. What is classified as a flaw, and that is just that Leonid is secretly Terranor's. Um, you also have all of the kit that you have brought to the heist as well. You just as an overview, the complexity here is 4, so it is fairly high to like break in. Then we'll have a complexity 2, a complexity 5, a complexity 2 after that.
Okay,
Um,
so we have gaps in security trapdoors, parasite, we've got the Amontillado, we've got Leonid, and we have the sentient hand. Do we just need to think of one plan for all of us to get through, or do we all have to get through individually?
This is a
Or does
decision
it
that you
matter?
can make. So where you want to position people, like it could certainly be that you leave some characters on the perimeter to continue like running and gaining flaws, gaining exploits on the perimeter, and other characters could be pushing in. Remember that once you get to the loot, the more characters that you have within the target, the more dice that you get to roll, and so the
Yeah.
better your positioning is on the way out. Um, but yeah, like you can have characters remain on the outside or go inside. That is your strategic decision to make here.
Well, I think if Sierra is going to use the gaps in security to sneak in, I can just walk in because I'm Terranor's now.
Mm. Or you could pose as the Terranors taking me in, trapping me,
Yeah, yeah, through the gap to try and drag
or
you
both
through
of
to use your
us. And
body.
they're
Hmm.
obviously interested in Fix as well.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
We're at
And
2 assets that you're using now.
Technically, if you wanted to only pretend to drag Syrah in, I have a cloaking cloak that could, in theory, get me through the gap without anyone knowing I was in there.
that is true. That's a
I
good
can't get
idea.
through a scanner, but I can at least make sure that our numbers are not accurately counted if you get spotted.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because there might be even if there's like shadiness about secret gaps and secret body snatching, somebody might notice if I snatch two bodies. So I think, yeah, that's a good use of the cloaking cloak. The cloaks. And I have a med kit or something like that. I have a med pack. So when I do get fixed through, I can fix him up so that he's not a giant mess and he doesn't have to drink the brandy and be extra messy on top of everything. So I'll use my
I don't
med
have to
pack.
crawl everywhere.
Yeah, not this time. All right. That brings
Four,
us
an
to
even roll.
4. Yeah. Who's feeling lucky?
Split the roll.
Split the roll. You and me, or do no? Let's get our guest. Our guest star
Yeah.
has to roll one.
Well,
Rob and Michael.
All
I
right.
would think that maybe for the sake of amity among the party, you just let the guest roll both so that
Oh, that works.
if there's any resentment, it disappears at the end of the session.
I
And if
love
there's
that.
any glory,
We're
then
like, Fix is never coming back because Fix's dice are cursed. You know, like if Fix just rolled a 6 or something, for example.
A 6 is
Whoops.
good.
A 4 and a
Oh,
2.
a 6 total. Boy. Okay.
Yeah,
Whoops.
yeah.
So let's look at the escape or execute a plan move here. Is sorry, this section's getting moved around a little bit. Uh, and the effects here. So on a 6 or lower, the plan quickly falls apart. The crew may choose one of the following. Mark the next crew bona fide and increase the result to a 7 to 9. Advance to the next phase in turmoil and add 2 complexity to the next objective. Or you can remain in the current phase unless it's go time. So in that case, you would lose 1 asset, and I would describe the shifting situation. But we don't have that one. So you can either advance forward by marking a crew bona fide, or just advance to the next phase in turmoil and make it more complex.
I vote for crew bona fide. That sounds fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Fun. So what we'll do, I think, then is let's take a 10-minute break. I will give you the prompt on that. I'm not sure. I don't have a crew page on here yet. Oh, I do.
It's in the
I do.
campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, under campaign. So bona fides of the clandestine courtship. So the prompt that we will be answering here is: you did something daring that gained the attention of the association. What was it? And how did the association first approach you? So you'll all enter. It's the same prompt for everyone. It's kind of like, what was the thing that, yeah, it is what it is, right? But you'll answer your own unique version of this story. And then we will ask our other crew members to share that in the episode next week. So let's take 10 minutes and you can kind of think up that answer. We will do those flashbacks and then enter the next phase of the heist. Um, I don't know. Maybe we'll just do those scenes and then call it a wrap and then do Stars and Wishes. That probably makes the most sense. And then we'll figure out how to integrate new folks when we come back for the next episode and all of that kind of thing. But yeah,
The,
that's
the
where we're
nice thing
at.
about using a cloaking cloak is it's really easy to lose track of my character.
It is.
Like, who knows where Fix went after blowing the die roll?
The one other thing that the other thing to think about is that you have advanced to the next phase, and so that means you will do it with style. So think about what your signature moment is in the way that this part of the plan is executed. So we will describe that and then do our flashbacks and then stars and wishes. And do you want the full 10 minutes or do you want shorter? Five? 5 minutes, everyone.
Okay,
All right.
sounds
See you in a
good.
bit.
See you in a bit. And now for the epic conclusion of our first episode of Blood Banks of Terranor. We are getting through this dome. We have it didn't look good, but we remembered our origins and we have found a way through. Let's hear how that heist, how this part of the plan is executed. How do you do it with style, folks?
I think we see Jane walk up to the gates, and she's standing almost taller. I mean, she's just as tall as she always was, but it almost looks like she's taller. And she's now wearing a cloak. Somehow she got a cloak from somewhere. Don't worry about it. It's not part of the kit. It's just part of her style now. Um, and she looks to the people who are guarding the gates of New Gothica and just nods, and they nod back, and she cracks almost a tiny little smile on her waxen face, and you can see that one of her metallic teeth, just on the side, you can see that one of her canines is perfectly sharp.
Ooh.
And she steps in through the gate and heads toward the shady back alleys of New Gothica to look for the specific gap in the wall that she has been directed to.
I like the idea that those parasites in Jane Doe's brain maybe are the things guiding her to the specific location of that exit, and she's able to find it. And we see a look of concern on Sarah's face, knowing that, or wondering if she can now trust Jane Doe, but
Mm.
knowing that there's no other shot to get through this barrier, and she'll have to place her kind of self in a way in Jane Doe's hands. If you know, if this goes wrong, I'm going to get infected too.
I think Fix is in some dark shadows, crown still on their head, and they've pulled out a little bio radar that they carry with them so that they can see Sierra's approach just pinging and pinging. And it's weird. They're like tapping the screen because Jane's tracker is flickering now. The signature is not the same as it had been previously, and it's no longer an exact match. But Fix's plan was to go through the gap right behind Sierra, and so as Fix makes visual contact, you see him put it away, center himself, and go, "I'm a hero." Straighten the crown. There are 3,011 days left. I can do this. And they flip the cloaking cloak over and step right into the footsteps that Sierra's following in order to travel in their wake.
And as the three of you pass in, the camera pulls back and we see glimmering in a white suit covered in light bulbs, propped, perched on one foot like the cover of that Jethro Tull album. It's Massimo Thrust, and he is staring at you with a sinister grin on his face, and I think he even claps. And as that happens, the camera cuts to a flashback of how each of you were at first engaged by the association.
We see fire and hear explosions. There's screaming and crying. It's a space station on the side of a planet that is collapsing in on itself. And there are these two people holding an infant, and they're saying, "This is the only chance our baby, our son, has got. You have to do it." And they place the baby inside of Jane Doe 2.0. Jane Doe says, "You can trust him. You can trust me with him. I can do this." And the parents of this infant take a quick moment to kiss their son on his little baby forehead and wrap him in a cloak. And we close the door on the front of Jane Doe's chess piece as she gets into an evacuation chamber and is shot bodily out into space just as the planet explodes. And we see Jane Doe floating through space from the inertia. She's going extraordinarily fast, and then another ship, a large ship of the association, comes by, and we see a tractor beam pulling her in.
Cool.
We're aboard the bridge of a very luxurious vessel. It's a spacious area, um, but it is currently on fire. And amidst the flames are two figures, one of which is Kassira, and the other of which is a man with a similar shock of white hair. And they are both wielding sabers, trading blows back and forth, pushing one another to the corners of the room and twisting to evade the flames that are licking at the consoles and panels of this ship. And the man's blade lashes out, catching Kassira's cheek, leaving that dueling scar that she bears to this day. And she takes a step back and reaches a finger to wipe the blood away, and then licks it from her finger and gives a little smile. "I'll give you that one, cousin," and then rejoins the duel, and she drives him back into the flames, and he's caught in a position where he has to leave himself vulnerable in order to not catch on fire. And at that moment, Kassira's saber just goes straight through his belly, piercing him, and bursts out the other side. And as his body falls, she turns to the console and slams a control that activates the fire suppression system, and gouts of foam and gas come down, pumping out of the ceiling and quenching the flames. And she gives a little smile toward her cousin lying dead on the floor and says, "That's makes us even, I think." And takes the seat at the cockpit, and the ship is now hers.
We're in the deep pleasure basements of Stug Cabello's crime palace. There is pounding
Foreshadowing.
club music just echoing down the hallways, various sentients in different exciting costumes lounging here and there, not all of them sober, some of them entwined, and Fix, his eyes wrapped in a bandage, is being guided by an enormous heavy who's carefully steering him in between dancing bodies and then eventually into the back where as soon as the door closes all of the club music falls away and there is uh, a wall full of mounted weaponry. There are open briefcases of cash in the process of being counted in various coins. And there is also innocuously, or not innocuously, but strangely out of place, a very expensive medical bed pushed into the corner where Stug Cabello is sitting on the edge of it. And Fix comes walking up to him, feeling his way along the desk and shaking Stug's hand and saying, "So excited to make your acquaintance. I'm glad you reached out to me. If you would start prepping the medical table for the procedure," and he reaches to pull his blindfold up, and a little red, globby biological thing comes plopping out into his hand and says, "As promised, I have brought a reconstituted gonad from one of the bullet apes of Emporala, a long extinct but very potent race. If they hadn't been extinguished as vermin. Anyway, I'm very happy to see this implanted in you to restore your potency. It's the least that I can do for all the opportunities I'm sure it will grant."
Uh, and with that, the music roars, the screen cuts to black. We get the big Planet Raygun text on the screen, and credits start to roll. And as the credits roll, we do stars and wishes. Does anybody want to go first?
Just a star for inviting me. Thanks for letting me crash your party and ruin your plans. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, star for everybody for rolling with the bad rolls today. We had bona fides, we had the crew bona fide. It's a lot of fun. I always like to see what happens when something fails. And it's really interesting to see how things when they fail in this game, how I love the different options that you can have. It's not just something went wrong and you have to deal with it. You have, a choice to make as to which way you want to deal with it. And I think that's really interesting. So star to Mike for writing it. Um, yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I'm hoping Michael you'll come back for the end of this heist at least. I know that'll make things a little tricky with so many people at the table, but I would hate to finish this heist without you because, I want you to get your eyes back, and I want to know how long until the heat death of the universe.
Changes. Changes is the thing. Hard to say. It was great playing along two characters that are already feeling so developed. You're pretty early in the campaign, right? And yet it feels like you've got voices and backstories that are coming pretty naturally, makes it easy to play off of. I always love Mike's NPCs. I think the particular standout this time was our rejected crying person who can't get back in, Stelio. Truly heartbreaking. I hope they find what they're looking for or get permanently escorted off planet so they can stop bothering the actual paying tourists. Either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I was worried we were coming in with only two of us, and then I really appreciate you joining, Michael. That's awesome, and I hope I plus one to what Amanda said. I hope you can come back for another session, even if that means we have two curators. I'm sure that will work. Um, yeah, I enjoyed the that's the first bona fide or first bona fide in the session I've been in. That was fun. And yeah, we got some interesting. I liked Jane Doe's little kind of Superman-esque escape pod thing, and yeah, Fix is ties into something future, which I guess I he you guys maybe understand a lot better than I do, but I'm looking forward to understanding what that's all about because this is the first time I've played this game. And yeah, I Star for Massimo. What a weird, vivid, distinct, very instantly picturable guy. He kind of made me think of that in the Running Man, the guy that's covered with light bulbs. But
Hmm.
yeah, he was fun, and I like this kind of seedy underbelly to this to this whole operation. The just the whole atmosphere of this place that's on the dark side of a planet and tidally locked away from the sun. And yeah, it's got some vibes. I enjoyed it. So yeah, looking forward to next time. And yeah, thanks so much for having me, and apologies for ducking out in the middle for a little while there.
Speaking
No
of the
worries.
vibes, Mike, you must have had so much fun writing this one. Like all the weird gothic references. You got Carmilla, you've got some like Edgar Allan Poe references, the new Gothica. Everything about it is just this is my jam. I'm so excited to be a vampire robot now. Like you have no idea. I'm so excited about all of this. And then having the vampires be like these weird worm creatures, disgusting. I love it. I love it. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. This one is, for what it's worth, it's the core inspiration is the Mario Bava sci-fi movie Planet of the Vampires. And then it's essentially asking the question of what if Planet of the Vampires, but actual gothic vampires?
Was actually about a
Um,
planet of vampires.
Yes. So you've kind of like the outskirts is yeah, the sort of like and you didn't I was trying to nudge towards Wreck of Lazarus, but that's like the very like Mario Bava kind of stuff. And now you'll be moving into very gothic horror realm
I
once
felt
you go inside the dome.
I felt like I was picking up some Chronicles of Riddick maybe as well.
Mm.
So maybe
But it
some
might
of
just be
that,
me.
yeah. I love just pulling, yeah, like all of these things and kind of like Frankensteining them together in weird ways. So I appreciate
Mm.
that you all appreciated that. Just yeah, I would echo the star on the bona fides. It was really fun. Whenever you're playtesting something, you're just it's anxiety all the time of like, is this ever going to be relevant? Like when the dice
Hmm.
are swinging one way, it's like, oh my God, why does the system do it this way? Why can't it do it this way? So it's really cool to have the bona fides like and have those opportunities be real and make sense. And then yeah, I think it's just very fun to I've said this in a lot of Stars and Wishes, and I think the one of the previous ones that we've had is just the sort of like serendipity of tabletop role playing games as part of the fun of like seeing how, like I am in. There's two versions of me that are in different roles within the conversation. I'm here, or I was here as a writer, and now I'm here as a keeper, and you all are players, and the way that those two versions of me, as well as the three of you, the five of you, um, make these weird connections between things is really exciting and fun. And I thought that really enjoyed that moment. Amanda of Jane Doe 2.0 revealing she has a brain, which we may have talked about more, but like in this particular moment, like so impactful to, especially based on like we've been leaning into that, like what was that little like fizzle of life that she got, and like maybe this is it, but now it's being exploited by space vampires, and what does that mean? Like there's all of this stuff that could not have been planned for that like as me as the writer is like, oh, I just want to grab this stuff and I want to write it into the game now, but I shouldn't. I need to keep those gaps because that's what allows for all of this fun stuff to happen. um yeah, Rob, the interaction with Massimo was a lot of fun. I'm glad you appreciated him as well. He will be back. And yeah, I even think you kind of like picking that type of character and being able to connect it with the the weirdest of the vampires. We're gonna meet some interesting characters, but no, there's a there's weirder ones. Um, but this is like, yeah, like I think one of the iconic characters here. And then speaking of iconic characters, like Michael, like very much very fun playing with someone who has played the game before, and the like call out to Stug Cabello. And for Rob in the audience, Stug Cabello is kind of like the iconic character from the early playtests of these games. And we will meet that character in the heist that we were going to be running today until we flipped it out for this one. So it'll be really fun, again, talking about that serendipity of like, now we've got this cool character that's embedded into the world and into our character stories. Um, Oh, anyway, my initial point. The bona fides were fucking epic, y'all. Just the crew bona fides especially. That's the first time that crew bona fides have come into play. That's why we're doing the campaign playtest. And so it's really fun to kind of like get those backstories and start it starts this trajectory of these characters, all of these characters that are members of this crew or ancillary members of this crew colliding together in the past to become this crew. So it's going to be really fun to see how that develops. The Superman stuff, the big, I love a good cousin side. What would that be? And we're getting more of the tension with Kasira's family. Michael, the eyes being a doomsday clock is brilliant. And that is going to be very fun to keep on, even when your character isn't here. And I do hope that Fix pops in from time to time. But even when he's not here, I think that's going to be a really fun thing to be playing with, of like, the end of this universe is known amongst this crew and it's changing all the time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Uh, yeah, wishes. The big swing. So I've run this before as the early draft, and the big swing shift in how it all plays out is in this next phase. So that's all going to be fresh for me to run. A couple things moved around on the outskirts on the perimeter, but like the facility is what has really changed a lot and making that feel more deliberate. So it's going to be fun to see that in play. Really looking forward to that. And again, reference to Stug Cabello just makes me want to get to Stug Cabello. Um, anyway, those are my stars and wishes. Anything else that anyone has?
I can provide a deep development Easter egg for anyone who has watched the recording this far and is curious. Massimo is visually styled after a Greek vampire named Zeno from the film Norway in 2014. Pretty not very well known Greek vampire film.
And Michael had sent me a trailer, or I don't even remember what the context was of it, but I was like, "Oh, I'm taking
Yeah,
that."
it's just it had these scenes of this long-haired over the hill vampire who looks like someone who was like a disco dancer partier in his youth and is still out there trying to do it but shouldn't, which fits this sort of Euro vampire aesthetic. And at one time he's just like covered in lights. I actually, while the focus wasn't on me, I actually went through the trailer, created an animated GIF, and tried to drop it into the Zoom, and it didn't work. So you'll have to go look up the Norway 2014 trailer on your own to see the origins of Massimo's disco dancing.
There's a lot of like deep pull references. I again like I like grabbing a lot of like little random stuff. So even though "We Want Your Blood" banner is a reference to something obscure and specific. But yeah, hopefully you don't need to understand all those
Don't
references
need to know any of it.
to enjoy it. But if you do, I think there's a lot of like nods to science fiction and horror and that kind of thing that you wouldn't expect. So yeah, cool. Thank you, everyone. Next week we are off, but we will pick up after that. So we'll see you again when we see you.
Sounds good.
Well,
See you then.
Bye.
goodbye to the people at home. See y'all later.